Hi everyone, welcome to episode 60 of the Strength System podcast. It's our first of 2021. We've been on a bit of a hiatus. I think the last one was December.
Right.
But what roused us out of our slumber was,
Me?
I guess Prashanti gets the credit for this. And we,
Actually, Gayatri.
oh yeah. So we have two guests with us today on the podcast, and both of them are long-term clients. I mean, the folks who trained with us for a long time at Strength System. So Gayatri and Amrita, welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank
thank you.
So, I mean, I'll just do a bit of a quick introduction and then we'll kind of get into the question. So the topic, which I haven't mentioned yet, is training during pregnancy, right? So, I mean, neither Prashanti and I have experience with pregnancies. So
Thank God.
Yeah. So we thought we'd get two people who are more qualified to talk about it than us. So both Gayatri and Amrita, I mean, apart from, being very strong and training in the gym, they also have a fair, a big movement background before they came to train with us. So, I mean, Gayatri is a Bharatanatyam dancer and teacher, and Amrita as well is a dancer, theater artist, and
Wow.
probably a few other hats which I'm missing. So we thought they'd have a really good perspective on training during pregnancy. I mean, they also have both. Amrita regularly trained while she was pregnant, and Gayatri, who is currently on her second pregnancy, has been training super regularly at home. So we thought it'd be great to get a perspective from both of you on your experiences and just general advice for folks who are looking to train while pregnant. So let's start off maybe with a bit just from each of you. Maybe we'll go with Gayatri first. What kind of influenced your decision to train during pregnancy? And yeah, what were the factors that you kind of balanced when you were thinking about that?
I feel stronger and confident when I strength train, and I think it helps me get through a range of activities that I do at home with my firstborn toddler, without having to worry about like pain or inability. So, like lifting a 14-kilo toddler in different situations during tantrums, lifting rice sacks as like as heavy as 10 kilos or even huge water cans. They were not a dreadful task during pregnancy. Only because I personally think it's only because I strength train and yeah, that's why I definitely wanted to keep lifting through my pregnancy.
Okay. And Amrita?
Um, so I think I only discovered strength training about 4 months before I got pregnant. And it was something that I wanted to do, not getting pregnant, but strength training. It's something that I had wanted to get into for quite a long time, a couple of years, but I wasn't sure about the kind of coaches I should go to. So I'm so glad I met you guys 4 months just before I got pregnant. And when I did, it just seemed like a natural progression because I love doing it. It made my body feel great, and just seemed to make sense. It seemed safe. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Amrita has an interesting story which we wanted to bring up.
Amrita, do
Of
you want
course,
to tell
of
us
course.
our version or
No.
should we tell our version?
No, I think you should tell your version. More
Yeah.
colorful.
Dramatic.
It's more, yeah. I think Varun should tell the story.
Really, I
Does
think
Varun remember what happened though?
yeah.
Okay, so for those of you guys listening, Amrita was very pregnant, very pregnant. And Varun had just gotten engaged, so we threw him a very
So this was like before my wedding, like 5 days before my wedding.
Yeah.
Yes, basically everybody in Strength System assembled at Chennai's favorite pub, Zara's, to celebrate Varun and Anu because they were going to get married very soon. And Amrita, a very pregnant Amrita, was there. And everybody we were just doing our own thing, ignoring Amrita because a pregnant woman is very useless and boring in a party. And I think your husband, Sudhir, was balancing like plates and drinks on your belly or something, if I remember right.
Oh God.
And Amrita announces that she thinks she's going into labor. So we have strength system has played a very integral role in Amrita's life.
Including deadlifting 80 kilos the previous day or something.
Yeah, I think you also deadlifted 80 kilos like 2-3 days before you gave birth to Meena. By the way, for the world, I'm Meena's godmother. I'm not. I'm not. Anyway, so Amrita, maybe taking on with you. Um, it seemed like such a straightforward thing for you guys to decide, okay, I'm going to lift, I'm going to strength train, because you guys understand it and you guys know it's safe. But I'm sure everybody in your life, including your mothers, husbands, doctors, I know Amrita had a very supportive doctor, but generally the medical fraternity is not very keen on pregnant women lifting. So, what do you guys remember? Some of the conversations you were having? Did you have trouble convincing people, hey, this is safe, I know what I'm doing, this is my pregnancy, back off? Amrita, you wanna talk to us about that?
Um, yeah, people were obviously very concerned. Everybody's okay if you tell them you're going for walks and if you're doing prenatal yoga and all that.
Pilates.
Pilates, yeah. But if you tell them you're lifting weights or if you show them a picture or video of you at a barbell, they all freak out because it's not something they're used to seeing. So yes, I got lots of questions about are you squashing the baby? Aren't you squashing the baby when you when you lift these weights and da, da, da. At that point, I think I was just trying to explain to everybody why it's so safe and why I think it's an amazing idea and go into the theoretical reasons behind it. But obviously, it wasn't getting through to anyone. Everyone's eyes would just glaze over. So now I see that was a bit pointless, and there's no point, I think, in trying to convince people that I'm doing the right thing. I do what makes me feel good and what works for my body, and you can just offer people information if they're interested in even learning.
Yeah.
Gayatri, but is it harder for you because you live at home and you also train at home? So your family, when I said you live at home, you live in a bigger family than Amrita. So is it harder for you? And do you remember what they said when you first started?
Yes, definitely. See, the general perception is that men are born to lift, made to lift, and when it came to a pregnant woman, it's like all the more of a red signal, you know. Initially, yes, my some of my family members were concerned about my uterus being lowered, or like a uterine prolapse could happen due to lifting heavy weights or something. But it's actually the other way around. Actually, lifting helps strengthen the pelvic floor, right? So of course, with the help of Prashanti, I showed them some literature and study links on, how and why uterine prolapse actually happens and how lifting, of course, with professional help, how lifting actually helps. And that was actually affirming for them. So, and after that, I also suffered a knee injury, right? And I underwent ACL reconstruction surgery last
Just to
February.
clarify, this is independent of lifting or pregnancy.
This is completely different. So I must say I had support from family, my gynecologist, my physiotherapist, for training during pregnancy. However, the doctor who performed the surgery, he asked me to take it easy and just lift 2.5 or 5 kilos. 10 or 15 kilos and all is a lot for RDLs considering you're pregnant. 10, 15 now. Like, okay. So all of this was, there was this concern from my doctor. I did not heed to it because I had immense support, from all of you. And most importantly, I learned to trust my body. Sometimes it's not very important that you need to make them understand. If you would like to explain it to them and want them to understand, to support you, then explain. Otherwise, no, don't bother. Just do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. I mean, just from the outside, I've always noticed that everybody has an opinion on like women when they're pregnant, right? Not just your doctor, but like everybody, like random people on the street will give you unsolicited advice. So maybe let's just jump a little bit to how. I mean, so obviously when you're pregnant, you're kind of awash with information and you're told, okay, this is how the childbirth will be, and this is how the post uh, birth, like recovery process is going to be. Um, do you think, I mean, given that you guys have gone through that, do you think strength training, let's say Amrita, when you kind of was your in your recovery from giving birth, do you think lifting played any role in kind of making that process a little bit easier? I mean, obviously you don't have anything to compare it to, but compared to what you were told to expect, did you find that you recovered quicker, or was there any difference?
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything is a bit of a haze from that period.
Mhm.
I must say, though, that I was very surprised that right after I had a C-section, just to clarify.
Mhm.
I was very surprised that right after my surgery, I couldn't feel my abs. I couldn't engage my abs. So Gayatri is grinning. I think she recognizes that feeling. No? Anyway, so I couldn't engage my abs, and that was really scary considering I was, as you said, deadlifting 80 kilos or whatever 1 week before that. And I thought I had stayed super strong. But that's a completely normal thing. It takes some time.
Right.
But the flip side of that is that you need the rest of your body to move around to maneuver. So just the strength in my arms, in my back, my glutes, everything else definitely supported nursing, C-section recovery, all of that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure having that base level strength just made it easier to lug around a child in life. I mean, I think I imagine the child reaches on to you a lot in the first few months,
At
and you
that
have
point, the
to.
child is like some 2 kilos. So that wasn't the big deal. But just your body is healing from major abdominal surgery.
Right.
And even small things, going to the bathroom, picking up stuff is really hard initially. So you need support from the other muscles
Right.
that are not healing.
Right.
So,
And
like
Gayatri, sorry, finish.
yeah, sorry, no, as one major highlight for me was during pregnancy, though, I never had any back pain.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was a thing that I hear about a lot, back pain during pregnancy. And I never had back pain. I never had incontinence, which is a huge issue with
Right.
even young mothers postpartum. Also, I know people in their 20s who have some level of incontinence, and I know those things were addressed during my training.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm super grateful for those.
Awesome. And Gayatri, with you right now, also we're doing a lot of pelvic floor work and
Mm.
incontinence built into the program, right? Uh,
Yes.
do you feel different I mean, of course, you have a prior experience to compare this pregnancy with. So, do you feel different during this pregnancy? And what did you train during your pregnancy with Triumph?
No, I was only into walking during my first pregnancy. I was not even dancing. And I started to train with strength systems 6 months postpartum when
Right.
Triumph
Yeah.
was. So for me, this training made me feel strong, and it was something that I could stick to and be regular, being a
Right.
new mom, And I just fell in love with lifting, and I really, really wanted to keep doing it, even after my, like knee surgery or now through my second pregnancy, except, of course, the first trimester. And what helped is that I feel, although I have my own episodes of hormonal surges and whatnots of pregnancy right now, I'm able to deal with it so well
Mhm.
compared to my first pregnancy. I think it's because of because of the happy hormones that strength training produces. I don't know. I deal with it better. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you were mentioning before, I mean, before we started recording, it's also like your me time, right? You get some time alone
Yes.
just
Mm.
to
Yes.
not think about other stuff. So I think that itself is
Yes.
valuable. And I think,
Yes.
yeah, that's what so many people have told us about
Yeah.
strength training generally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so far we've discussed how amazing strength training is and how positive it is. But did you guys have any apprehensions about lifting when you started? Like when you knew you were pregnant and you decided, okay, I'm going to lift. Did you have any major apprehensions at all? Maybe we can go Gayatri first.
I did not have any apprehensions because I was quite confident I can do this as I received great support from all of you as the you know the coaches at Strength System. What they reiterate is that strength training should facilitate our lives outside the gym, and it's not supposed to like always be strenuous and beat you up. So that was very affirming, and also we watched many videos on Instagram, and also I've heard about Amrita trained during her pregnancy. So these and all was affirming, and I didn't have any apprehensions at all. I was in fact waiting for my first trimester to be over.
Wow.
Yeah. She wanted to train in her first
Yeah,
trimester.
yeah.
I had to hold her back and
Hmm.
say, not yet.
Hmm. Hey, can I ask why first trimester training isn't recommended though?
Just because we don't want any like miscarriage potential for miscarriage is greater in the first trimester,
Hmm.
which is
But
also why
not
traditionally.
necessarily. Yeah,
Sorry.
not necessarily related to any of the activities that you use, right?
No, you
Activities
just
that you
want to
do.
limit as many variables as possible to be
Hmm.
safe. It's
Right.
just risk versus reward.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Amrita, since you
Hmm.
were also
Sorry.
very new to training by the time you felt wonky and realized you were pregnant, did you? I mean, I remember Amrita was the first pregnant person we actually worked with that strength system. So
Hmm.
we were a little bit new to this scenario too, and of course we had a great learning experience with Amrita, and we even went and met uh, a pregnancy coach
Hmm.
basically, which
Yeah,
uh, didn't help very much, but we realized okay, we'll just lift.
you're on the right track. Yeah,
We were on the right track, and but did you have? I mean, I remember you had a lot of questions at that point, and
of course.
we had we did a lot of the learning we did came at that point too. So what was your experience then?
So I don't think I had any apprehensions. I feel that's like very strong word because again, I trusted you guys completely. And I could see that you were making an effort to learn with me and figure out what needed to be done based on what was going on with me. So that felt great to get that sort of personalized attention. Um, so yeah, one, I trusted you guys completely. My only concerns were while I was training, just the regular stuff that you read about guidelines about exercise guidelines when you're pregnant, which is very, very limited. It's like I think one page in all your textbooks.
Yeah.
But about breathlessness, making sure you're getting enough oxygen, tiredness. So those things, those were things that I had to manage while training, but no apprehensions. It was just something I learned to manage.
Right.
Okay. So maybe just getting to the last question or two. Given your experiences, is there any advice you would give to somebody who is pregnant or looking to get pregnant and still wants to continue training, or
Sorry,
even
I have a
just start?
question.
Yeah.
Would you guys have lifted if you were pregnant if you hadn't discovered lifting before pregnancy?
Yeah.
So, like, if you had no
Hmm.
idea what lifting feels
Yeah.
like or the benefit of lifting, and then you got pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
would you have considered lifting as a choice, as an option?
I probably would not have, to be honest, because every single guidance says that you should do activities. You shouldn't start a new activity during pregnancy. There are obviously a learning curve, injuries, da da da. So to be honest, I wouldn't have. So I'm so grateful that I found you guys 4 months before I got pregnant.
Solid timing. Gayatri, you?
Yeah.
It's the same with me. Yeah. Uh, as they say, they prefer not to introduce a new physical activity during pregnancy, but I'm very happy I did it before my, so that I can, continue. My body is already used to it, so I can
Yeah.
continue to do it.
Okay, so I guess we have the answer to your
Yeah.
to Varun's question. Ladies, start lifting before you get pregnant. No,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Before you feel wonky.
before you feel wonky. Yeah, so what do you guys, what is your advice to women, young mothers, old mothers, women who want to get pregnant, women who are currently pregnant? Gayatri?
Um, yeah, I would just ask them to listen to their body very keenly, and maintain a good balance of physical activity and rest. If they do that with, of course, professional help, I'm sure they will make good decisions on what kind of physical activity to do, how much to do, or how less to do.
Yeah, I think Gayatri, you especially do a very good job of this listening to your body thing, because on some weeks you'll just tell me I'm not going to train today, and there's no guilt or anything associated
Mm.
with this decision, which might have been the case if you're not. I mean, I guess with you, you would beat yourself up if you didn't get all your training before you were pregnant, right? I think I've seen like a nice mindset shift there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Amrita?
that's awesome. Nice. Um, yeah, I think as Varun said, ladies, please strength train before you get pregnant because one, it really preps your body for what it's going to go through. So you need that strength. You need to be able. You need that mobility. But at the end of the day, just do some sort of activity that makes you feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are enough other things happening, enough emotional changes, enough life changes that are happening. So you just need to do something that makes you and your body feel good.
Right. Sorry, I know Varun said last question, but I have one more question. Both of you have been pregnant at least once. Do you guys have any advice for women who want to start training after childbirth and just dealing with postpartum and physical activity? Like, what were your experiences in returning to physical activity after childbirth? Amrita,
So I started, I started coming back to the gym when I was 9 months postpartum, um, and it was a bit of a well, it wasn't a very slow recovery. I felt like in about 4 months I was probably back to where I was before I got pregnant. So I don't think there's anything else you need to maybe specific concerns like if you have had some sort of injuries or whatever during your pregnancy, address those during strength training. But otherwise, I think it's like any other activity. And it's as Gayatri also mentioned, it helps it when you have a toddler running around the house that you need to deal with for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when did your not just strength training, but any physical activity, Gayatri, maybe because you were dancing too, when did your body feel ready to just start moving again?
Yeah, I started dancing after Triambak. When he was 5 months, I started
Hmm.
dancing. But I should say I was slightly immature to understand that it takes time. I was like, why am I not doing this? Because you're so used to being good, or at least, according to you, you had a standard.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just not there. You
Yeah.
have to understand it takes time, but you will get there. Shouldn't push yourself too much because you're already dealing with a lot of things being a new mom. Sleeplessness is
Hmm.
something that'll really wear you out. You can't do anything completely. So you have to understand, take it slow, have very realistic goals,
Right.
achievable goals, and be happy with it. But also at the same time, the flip side of it, don't stop pushing.
Mm.
Don't be like, okay, I can't do this today. But okay, two things one day is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great note to
Yeah.
finish on. I don't think I can do better than
Yep.
to sum it up than
Very
that.
eloquent. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys. I think hopefully anybody listening to this will have realized that training while pregnant is possible and you should do it. And yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, just thanks, guys. Both of you. Can't wait to see you back at the gym.
Yes.
Yes, I know. Soon. Fingers
Yeah, I
crossed.
hope
Mm.
Amrita's training. I know she's supposed to be training.
I
uh,
have been. I have been. 1 week
awesome,
has been good.
awesome, awesome. Cool. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
guys.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.